Disney. What's the first thing that comes into your mind when you think about Disney? Is it the theme parks, is it the shows, or is it the characters? Well, that's what we are talking about today. So, let's talk a bit about Disney. A lot of people know what Disney is. From characters to entire theme parks, Disney is a friendly company that makes friendly characters and movies. It's a very positive company that makes characters and movies many people, but mainly kids, love. They made movies like Toy Story, Cinderella, Monsters Inc., and tens or probably hundreds of more movies that are well known today. Disney was invented in the early 1900s by a man named Walt Disney. Also, a lot of things were named after him, like the theme park named Walt Disney World, another theme park named Disneyland, and even the company itself. So, we could all agree that Disney is extremely popular, especially in Florida. And it's all because of the movies, theme parks, and shows made by them. And finally, that's how Disney gained popularity over the years. Anyways, let's talk about what we are talking about this video. Today, we are talking about Disney politics, accidents, and history. All of these things that we will be talking about will add a lot more details about Disney, meaning a lot more details about its general history, accidents that happen in theme parks, and more details about politics. So, this video is going to give you more of a general background on Disney. Anyways, let's get right into what we are talking about today. Enjoy our content.
Chapter 1. Accidents. Accidents. They happen, right? Disney sure has made quite a few. How magic can quickly turn tragic, you may know of the popular ride Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. A boy died after being pinned beneath a car. Brandon Zucker found himself trapped beneath a vehicle, practically folded in half. To add on to ride incidents, a man was killed on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, a cleaner dies being trapped under a boat, a woman dies from a brain hemorrhage after riding Indiana Jones Adventure, and much more. A famous incident at Disney was a 2-year-old boy being attacked by an alligator at the park. Another being an 11-year-old boy who went swimming at the water park, catching a disease from amoeba in the water. Picture this. You're a new employee working for quote-unquote the happiest place on earth, and you're suddenly crushed between rotating panels of the carousel of progress. There has also been, in fact, repeated suicides at Disney World. Back in 1979, the first person was born at Disney, Teresa Salcedo. Though no one knows whether or not Teresa got a lifetime pass for Disney, this hasn't stopped people from trying to give birth at Disney. People have attempted rushing through the gates when in labor and begin to give birth at Disney. This can be very dangerous and risky to go into a Disney environment and try to give birth. The amount of things that can go wrong is terrible. This can even lead to a miscarriage and so much more. So, the most happiest place on earth, huh? Let's think about that while we move on to our next chapter.
History. Walt Disney was the man who created Mickey Mouse, right? No. It was actually his animator, UB Iwerks, who really made the final design. He only really made Mickey Mouse if someone specifically requested it. So it wasn't really stolen, but we don't know who he is when he comes up. This isn't the only issue. In 1938, Disney hired and personally welcomed a Nazi director to his studio. A biography on Walt titled The Triumph of the American Imagination explained that he willingly cast anti-Semites into his line of work. So he was a Nazi sympathizer, but he was also a few other things. For example, there is quite a bit of evidence he was a racist. While this was normal at the time, it doesn't mean it's good now. He released movies which include hurtful stereotypes such as the Black Crows from Dumbo, the Servant from Fantasia, and a movie so bad they don't even let the public see it, Song of the South. He also has been said for saying slurs in meetings, again by the voiceover for his biography, even showing he was sexist. By his biography writer, Gabler, shows that some of Walt's associates said that Walt didn't eat exactly like women. What's also bad is that it's said that his ride, Small World, greatly resembles a ride from a Danish place called Tivoli Gardens. Some other things are subliminal messaging in some of their movies. We can't say it because it's really, really weird, but if you want to, just look up subliminal messages in Toy Story.
Disney has gotten itself into a lot of political controversy throughout its existence. From the racist depiction of minority groups in their films, to Walt, who was the founder, being a Nazi, Disney has dealt with politics many times. You might think that Disney doesn't have to deal with these kind of problems anymore, since the examples I've shown were decades ago. However, they still deal with things like that. For example, employees in the Disney headquarters have been taught about white saviors, white fragility, white privilege, and systemic racism, stated by cityjournal.org. Several Disney employees mentioned how Disney's diversity and inclusion program, called Reimagine Tomorrow, was meant to be noble, but it became too political and engulfed in racial conflict. One of Disney's training modules, called Allyship for Race Consciousness, there was a part that mentioned how workers shouldn't rely on black colleagues to tell them about anti-racism, because it has a long history of racism and transphobia. Disney has also supported the ideas of companies such as All Lives Matter and I Don't See Color. These ideas are controversial to many people.